So I found this story right here on Twitter, but there wasn't a lot to really go off of because they didn't have the person's name. But all you got to do is Google a few keywords and boom, stuff will pop right up. Now, this story right here has multiple layers to it, but we'll get into that. This person's name is Xiaoqin Yan. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce their first name. They're 27 years old, and this story is coming out of Montgomery, Alabama, where this person set fire to a historic church down there in Montgomery. And they say they are facing federal charges. Now, what's interesting about this is not only did this person set fire to this church, but this person is also an illegal immigrant, as in they are not supposed to be here. And you can see the obvious. This person is definitely of Asian descent. Like, they literally descend straight from the continent of Asia. Where at in Asia, I'm not entirely sure. And they kind of look like the character May off of The Last Airbender. For those of you who don't get the reference, I would suggest that you look it up. It was a very good show. The movie was garbage, but the cartoon was phenomenal. But I'm going to go ahead and now get into this. It was posted on October 8th, 2021. The U.S. Attorney's Office has announced federal charges against the woman accused of committing arson at the historic First Baptist Church, Montgomery, on September 30th. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Alabama, Xiaoqin Yan, age 27, is charged with violating Title USC Section 8449. She's accused of setting 4 fires inside of First Baptist Church, Montgomery. Under the Title 18 USC Section 8449, a person is charged if they maliciously damage, destroy, or attempt to damage or destroy using fire or an explosive any building, vehicle, or other real or personal property used in interstate or foreign commerce or any activity affecting interstate or foreign commerce. New federal court filings also shed more light on the investigation, including details about an interview with agents with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, or ATF, conducted with Pastor Mark Bethea and other church members. Documents note that Bethea told agents that he'd interacted with a small in stature Asian female after the service on September 26th and told the agents he ultimately escorted the female from the premises of the church. Additionally, the pastor noted that several weeks before the fire, church security had previously interacted with an Asian female that was acting suspiciously and obtained the license plate number from the vehicle she was driving. The security observed 2 blue duffel bags with white wiring inside the vehicle, which the ATF later identified through the plates as being a 2001 Buick LeSabre registered in Yan's name. A church member also told ATF agents on October 1st that she'd seen the woman on September 29th entering the church through its courtyard carrying blue duffel bags in silver containers. While the member thought it was odd, she assumed the woman was bringing food for the church's international club. After what happened, before I go any further, after what happened with Dylan Roof, if you see someone that doesn't look like they belong to your church, and I'm talking about the people who go to the church, if you see someone just wandering around and their suspicion and they look like they don't belong to your church, don't second guess it. Have those red flags wave, let them antennas chirp. Because like I said, Dylan Roof should have been the eye-opening thing. And I would not be surprised if this was a black church, just based off of the pastor's last name, Bethea. And it was in Montgomery, Alabama. I'm almost inclined to believe that this is a predominantly black church. I could be wrong, but I think I might be right in my assessment. A church custodian told ATF agents he'd been introduced to the woman on September 15th by a security guard, and they both thought she was acting odd because she left the church with long hair and returned hours with short hair before asking to be shown around and asked questions about the church's cameras. The custodian also stated the woman's made a comment about FBC Montgomery's previous pastors, referring to them as rich white men. Okay. Maybe I was wrong in my assessment. She says she asked about the church's previous pastors and said that these were rich white men. So I could be wrong. Like I said, I don't know what the congregation of this church looks like. Maybe someone can find that out for me. AFT agents reviewed the church's security video and found that a person determined to be a female of Asian descent, wearing a hat, mask, and gloves, was seen carrying the same type of bags as she approached the church around 7:30 p.m. on September 29th. Worship services were being held inside at the time. Security video was recording when, around 2 a.m. the following morning, the person returned to the church on South Perry Street and began setting multiple fires inside. After the fires were set, security video recorded the suspect leaving the church with blue bags. But they and other church staff members indicated to investigators that the person in the security videos appeared to be the same woman who has been escorted off the property on September 26. Investigators fanned out the church, canvassing the nearby area, finding surveillance footage that showed a Buick LeSabre leaving the church's driveway at 2:20 a.m. Other security video from the area showed the vehicle driving away from the church at a high rate of speed, running a red light as it traveled south on Decatur Street. On October 4th, a joint law enforcement operation located Yan at an undisclosed Montgomery residence that was redacted in court documents. While clearing the residence of any people, agents noted that there were 2 blue duffel bags and a red gas container in plain sight inside of a closet, as well as a clothing and a hat that matched those seen in the church's security footage. A search of the residence, as well as Jan's vehicle, resulted in agents finding multiple pieces of evidence, including mask, clothing, cigarette lighters, gas cans, cell phones, a copy of Jan's passport, and other documents, a 9mm pistol, a firearm magazine loaded with ammunition, additional 9mm rounds, a personal diary, a glove with burn marks, and receipts from Walmart for the purchase of lighters, duffel bags, gas cans, and starter logs. This chick right here was like, she looked like she was just ready to take out the damn block. I'm surprised they didn't find any bomb making materials with all the stuff that they did find. If convicted on the federal charges, Yan faces a prison sentence of between 5 to 20 years in prison. There is no parole in the federal system. In addition to the federal charges, Yan faces a second-degree arson charge in Montgomery. On Wednesday, Yan's bond was increased from $30,000 to $150,000. District Judge Monet Gaines also instructed Yan to be evaluated and receive treatment if necessary for possible mental health concerns while incarcerated. Acting United States Attorney Sandra J. Stewart thanked all of the agencies involved in Yan's arrest, including the Montgomery Fire Rescue Bureau of Investigations, the Montgomery Police Department, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Explosives, the U.S. Marshals Service Gulf Coast Regional Fugitive Task Force, the U.S. Postal Service, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, and the Auburn Police Department. That was a lot to read. That felt like it was a lot of information to read in a short amount of time. This chick right here sounded like she was ready to pop some shit off. Now, like I said, I could be wrong in my assessment about this being a predominantly black church based on her statements about, white men and everything like that. But still, suspicions rise. Like they said that this woman, she was a random woman. They never seen her before. She came walking around looking to see where the cameras was at. They said they saw her 1 minute. She had long hair, then came back later and her hair was cut short. Maybe probably to throw off who she was to them, but it's like no one was going to really forget her face. And then on top of that, you're like the only Asian woman here. Like, you stand out like a sore thumb, like in front of all of these people. And then she set fire to the church. And like I said, I had read somewhere that said that she was an illegal alien. I noticed that they didn't mention about her legal status here. So if she is indeed an illegal immigrant, at this point, hell, even if she's legal, they need to rip up her visa and send her ass packing right back across the pond to Asia. And if she's illegal, they can extradite her ass back over there. And not a word or a peep from the AAPI. Isn't that interesting? And we won't hear nothing. Notice they didn't say nothing in this article from the AAPI. Nothing. And you probably won't find anything either. Speaking of the AAPI, I noticed those claims of black people quote unquote attacking them like they were in the beginning of the year. Those have like literally fizzled out. I haven't heard one story about a black person allegedly attacking an Asian person or an Asian American person in months. It's been a couple of months. It started to fizzle out probably around the early, like maybe around July, maybe late June. Like, it's been that long. I haven't heard anything. And we know that was all a propaganda reach from certain people in mainstream media, preferably those of Asian descent, to try to get something on black people and make them the boogeyman towards the Asian American community, as has every other community in America, and quite frankly, the world has been known to do for eons. And this was just their turn. But I have a feeling they're not going to talk about this, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I would be highly surprised and shocked if they did, though, but I know that they won't. So I'm wasting my breath. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments.